Right, welcome to this start collecting video for the Tau Empire. In this video here I'll sort of introduce the Tau race. I've got quite a large collection of Tau, big enough sort of for apocalypse games, and so in this video I'll give you a sampling of what the different units are, and a chance to zoom in. I'll sort of show you the different models, how they've come out, and then we'll talk about the faction itself and why to collect Tau and how to go about collecting them and so on, and reasons why you'd want to collect Tau. Also, it's a handy video, I think, for people who are considering what army should I collect next, or should I collect Tau, and before, you know, buying the codex, buying the models and so on, just be a good idea just to have a sample of what the Tau are like and what to expect. So, current edition of the codex for the Tau here. They've been around on the channel for a long time. It was the Tau Empire that got me back into collecting Warhammer 40,000. I was just blown away by the models. They're so different in style to pretty much everything. Just the way they fight, their technology, they're a completely alien race compared to other factions that are out there. And so if you want a clean break and something entirely different to collect from what you have, maybe you're an Imperial player, or you've got one of the Xenos factions, Tau are just different to everything. And so I like them for that. And they've got their own style, their own technology, their own way of fighting, so it's very independent from what other factions, the way they go about doing things. So they're a challenge, but they're powerful for sure. So Tau are known for their firepower, and that's the emphasis that I've gone for in my army. You can forget about close combat. There's no psychic ability with them either, and so those two options are just not possible. They're not the fastest of factions out there either, so firepower is the main focus for the Tau. And so if you're going to build an army, you have to keep that in mind. Your firepower needs to be better than your opponent's. Better coordinated, more accurate, more deadly. And if that works and your tactics are good, then you can perform well in games. It's disaster for the Tau if your firepower is not coordinated, and if you're caught out in close combat, the opponent's in amongst you, then it's all over. It can happen very quickly, as I've learned in some games. So the other thing is the opponent's going to have firepower of their own, so you need to build an army that's durable, that can survive. Also is the task, the challenge for collecting the Tau. So what I'll do here is we'll take a look at the models in just a moment, just to give you sort of an idea. I'll read from the back of the codex here. For the greater good, the dynamic and enlightened Tau Empire rises in the galaxy's eastern reaches, sweeping aside the old order with bleeding-edge technology and an indomitable will. Guided by the mysterious ethereal cast, the Tau strive for the greater good of all, and determined to bring the truth of their enlightened philosophy to the galaxy's warring races, even if they must do so at the barrel of a gun. Sleek and deadly battlesuits rain from the sky, blasting apart the Tau's foes with scintillating cascades of pulse fire. This daredevil assault is joined by swift gunships and whooping alien auxiliaries, and the enemy is caught in a storm of lightning ambushes and devious counterattacks, defeated before they can even realise their doom. So it's not just long-range firepower, boring and we're at the back of the board and you blow the opponent away. It's exciting, it's encouraging to engage in risky, daredevil, close assaults, blowing the opponent away, well-coordinated ambushes and so on. And so it's not, you know, don't get the impression Tau's just, oh, I have to sit at the back line, it's boring. It's not. Tau games that I play with these are exciting games a lot of the time. You know, there is that risk involved of, do I ambush now and get caught out? You have to weigh it up, and then does the firepower, is it going to be enough, and so on. So they're an exciting faction to play. They're different in style from other factions. Other factions, perhaps like Blood Angels, are excited about getting into close combat. The swiftness and speed of the Eldar and Dark Eldar and so on. But for Tau it's more the risk of doing your ambushes, and will your firepower be enough to destroy enough of the opponent to stay ahead. And so it's a different type of excitement, but still it's great fun using them. The codex I think is excellent as well at the moment. It just has a nice flow to it. The rules are quite easy to remember. This particular list, check out the full army video to see the exact tactics, describe it all, cover all units, points, costs, relics and so on as well, is all covered in that video. So I'll zoom in now on some of the models to show you at this stage, and then we'll talk about some more tactics and other practicalities as well, a sort of practical video also here for the Tau. We'll zoom in here and show you some of these models. So here's one of my Hammerheads here. I think this is one of the iconic all-time classic Tau models. I haven't used them for a while. I'd gone to the Storm Surge and been using that, a fantastic model. But I've gone back to the Hammerheads, so I'm really glad to have done it. It's just, the look of it is excellent, and the railgun, just that flattened barrel. You can see the tip of it there, just very cool, very alien, very manga, Japanese manga sort of style for them, with like these, the battle suits especially, and just the whole theme of them. So some people are rude about the Tau, they call them the fish people, but they do get some hate. Out of all the factions on the channel, Tau would have about some of the most hatred out there. And it's probably from people who've been at the receiving end of their firepower. James has been infuriated countless times by Tau firepower, and no doubt will be in the future as well. But this is the Hammerhead here. With the railgun configuration is long-barreled, single-shot weapon. Brilliant. Smart missile system here. Tau great with multiple missile systems available to them as well. There's a double seeker missile on here as well. This is just the sighting equipment configuration here at the front. But 2 seeker missiles which can be fired as well. Tough and durable main battle tank. This is pretty good. And this is the Long Strike HQ here. I've marked it with this guy with the binoculars, and he gets loads of benefits and so on. I have a number of Hammerheads. Here's Hammerhead number 2, just marked slightly differently with the orange configurations just there. This is a practical video here, so you can see I keep these loose if I ever change the configurations around. And under here it's a stack of magnets for the base, because the plastic thing that you get, it snaps quite often, so I've gone for a stack of magnets and glued some magnets underneath. And that just sticks on there, and that keeps the model upright. So whilst I'm zoomed out, I'll just show you some of the other bigger models. So this is the Ghost Kill. When Games Workshop released the Tau, there's some units, then they redid the Tau some years ago and brought out some newer units. This is one of the newer ones. It's been out for a number of years now, but this is the Ghost Kill. Brilliant, brilliant model. And it's big. It's a big model. And you think old battlesuit, that's one of the medium size, but this is big enough. So there he is. If you like the colour scheme for the Tau, then there is a painting tutorial here for them on the channel. And I'll show you from start to finish how to paint one of the broadsides. I'll show you how to cover do the base in that video, how to do that. Paint the model, the base colours, the washes, the final effects, show you how to do all this chipping and weathering, which I think looks great for the Tau, and the orange here as well, and also transfers are covered in that video. There's some transfers here on the gun. I'll show you how to do that also. Then for the bigger projects, on the Plus channel, the link to that is in the video description below. I actually show you how to paint the Storm Surge. It's a massive Tau model, the biggest plastic kit that they have from Games Workshop, and the in-depth painting tutorial. I'll show you from start to finish how to paint that massive project and guide you through the process. And if you follow along step by step, there's no reason why you can't achieve the same results that you see here in the video. So painting tutorial here on this channel, and then also the in-depth painting tutorial with all the hints and tips as well on the Plus channel as well. That's him. He comes with a couple of drones. Tau are known for their technology different to what the other factions have. Tau make use of drones that can protect units by making them harder to hit. These are stealth drones, and also they have shield drones that have an invuln save, gun drones that fire weapons and so on, but they can use their drones to protect from hits coming in. So a missile shot comes in, the drone can intercept it and protect the main unit. And so there's some great technology available to the Tau, lots of tricks and things that they can use through their advanced and constantly advancing technology. So I'll show you the commander here as well for the Tau. Beautiful model. Games Workshop released a new commander model, and he is excellent. He's head and shoulders above the regular Crisis battlesuits. So that's him. So very cool model. Beautiful model, brilliant pose on him, excellent. Just put some debris here, a las cannon from the Imperial Guard, and some orc debris here as well. A tower capable of destroying many foes. That's them. These are the broadsides. There's individual tactics videos for a lot of these on the channel here as well, so you can check out full details about how to use these different units in those videos. But that's them. It'd be handy this video as your painting reference. I'm showing you all around how to paint these up. That's them. One trick I did with the painting, on areas that aren't very significant, so the back of the model here, for example, the feet and legs, some of the chest, that's not so significant. So I kept that basic dark grey colour and then just painted some of the panels. If you paint all of the panels, you've got a lot of work to do. So to save time, I just selected panels that looked important. So the main chest, around near the head, shoulder pads, the head, around the weapons to draw attention to all these rockets. You'll see it'll be those areas that get the most attention. It means there's less work to do. You don't have to paint every single panel on the model because that will just take you ages. So it's quite a quick painting technique. Still looks pretty good. Same, just to illustrate here, see the hammerhead. The emphasis I've put on the gun here, the central part of the model, that's where most of the colour's been put, instead of painting every single panel on the model. There's another type of broadsides here, it's these two. Just there with heavy rail rifles here, 2 shots, nice solid shot, decent anti-tank available from them. I'll zoom in here for some of the small models. So here we have some of the Fire Warriors. It was these models that actually got me back into 40k. I just think they look so cool. That nice fixed shoulder pad of protection. Just the alien technology, the shape of the pulse rifle here just looks brilliant, and the unique helmets. They're just very, very cool. I'm a big fan of the tower. So this is a regular Fire Warrior strike team, as they're called now, armed with a pulse rifle. 4-up saves, average armor save, quite well protected for your standard infantry. Here's one of the squad leaders here, the Chasseur, as he's called. Just there. Then there's a newer type of unit, it's the Breacher, which is a closer range pulse blaster. Sort of 15-inch maximum range for them, but a bit more punch. Close range there, just changing the magazine. Very cool pose. This is one of the newer kits that came out. And there's one of the squad leader just there. Then I have, this is one of the old lead models here. This is one of the Firesight Marksman. You'll be able to get this in the resin now. But he usually is accompanied by sniper drones. Tower have their own sniper teams. So that's him painted up. Then I have shield drones, painted in different ways. You can take the regular kit here. This is from the plastic kit. So the shield drone looks like this. It has this extra disc underneath and 2 of them antennae on top. That's a shield drone. This is one of the old lead ones here, the longer prongs on top. And painted up in a different way, but it's still that white, grey, orange colour scheme. And then some of the HQs. Here's the Cadre Fireblade plastic kit, beautiful model, real nice. So that's him. And then I have an Ethereal here. This is one of the old lead models, again probably available in fine cast. Didn't go for any orange on him, just to make him separate. They're sort of their own cast within the tower, so I haven't gone for the regular orange here. Just the greys, the white and grey shades for him. But there he is, and you can see like a blue tinge to the skin, just to separate his fishy skin from the rest of the model. But there he is. So that's just giving you a flavour of what some of the models look like. So these may not be your style. You may not like the tower, the look of them, but it was the style of the tower that drew me to collect them in the first place. So you can see there's some organic, you know, you can see some heads and so on here, but there's not much organic to these. A lot of it's machine. And even those infantry here, expressionless here, with their visors and helmets and armour and so on. So it's its style over personality, perhaps, is a good way to describe them. You know, the style of the models, the design of them, instead of the personality of like the facial expressions and so on. So that's kind of what you're going for here with the Tau. For painting them, you can see like a united colour scheme running throughout. I advise you do that for the Tau because they're meant to be a faction that's united. They all fight together as one for the united cause, and so you want that harmony between the different units, colour scheme wise, just to link them all together. Eldar, for example, they fight in the different aspects. Their colour schemes are all over the place, which is nice. I like that. There's something different. For the Tau, you want something that's quite united as well, something that's quite orderly. I've put, you know, well organised, like you know, things. See, like the shoulder pads here, the chest plates, are generally the similar kind of paintwork on each of these. You can see a common structure to it, and the markings, squads well organised, squads of 10, of 4, of 2. It's all not haphazard, but it looks like it's disciplined and well organised. You want that for the Tau because that's how they're meant to be. And it's well organised fighting factions. That's another aspect of their style as well. As far as painting's concerned, they're actually pretty quick. The technique, they can take you ages. As I said earlier, if you paint individual panels across the whole model, it will take you forever to paint. They'll look nice, but it'll take you forever. And so the technique I developed was just to put the emphasis on the areas that's going to draw the attention of the eyes, so the head and the chest and the weapons and so on. And other areas just not to paint as much. And that'll save you tons of time. I'll show you that in the painting tutorials. And so they're not too bad, considering the work that goes into them. You know, you've got base colours, washes, chipping effect, and markings and so on. There's a lot of work, but they're not too bad. Medium, quick to medium speed for painting these, I've found. Not too bad at all. If you're looking for an army that shouldn't take you too long to paint up, then Tau are pretty good. Not too bad at all. You might find your armies quite big, because infantry are pretty cheap, and so the size of the army is going to be pretty big as well. If you go for lots of infantry, you don't have to. You can go for more of an elite army. There's tons of options available for the Tau. It's quite a big codex, plenty of unit options available. People have asked about storage and transportation for them. Pretty solid here compared to other models that Games Workshop do. These will not break so easily. It's things like the antennae. See, like there's one here sticking out. They're vulnerable. They can break. Same here as well. These can snap off. And on the tanks as well. I think this one here is actually glued. This one's snapped off a number of times. And on the front here, this one here can break off. So that's where your breakage is going to happen. But usually I just wrap them up in bubble wrap, and they store generally pretty good. So they're not nowhere near as fragile as other factions that are out there for sure. The infantry, put them in a box with a bit of bubble wrap. I don't have ever had any breakages with them, so no problem with them at all. So durability as well, no problem. Size of the army, you really can configure it how you want. If you want to go for elite and not have too big a force, you really can do it at the Tau. If you want to spend out a lot of points, more expensive units, and have a smaller army, you can. It means you're not going to buy less models. Or if you want a hordes of models, like this Tau army's got about 60 infantry in it, then you can go that direction as well, which is sort of what I've decided to go for, but you don't have to. Another reason, maybe you want to break from collecting infantry. Maybe you've got Astra Militarum, you don't want any more infantry, or you've got Tyranids, you don't want any more infantry. For Tau, you can just go for like a battlesuit themed army, and you know, no models smaller than that, and something entirely different. So you know, there is plenty of flexibility to choose from the different units available in the codex. So that's sort of some practical things about the Tau. Style of play then, I mentioned it earlier, it's sort of the emphasis is firepower, but it's not just exchange of firepower from one side of the board to the next. It's coordinating your assault, and often in games of 40k you've got to move out and capture objectives all over the place. You've got to reach a certain place. Your army, even though you're based on firepower, it's got to be an army that's got to be able to move and counter-attack as well. So that's the challenge for the Tau, to have an army that's decent at firepower but also flexible enough to move around the board as well. if I was starting these, I'd recommend you get the Tau Start Collecting box set from Games Workshop, and then I would say go for units that you like the look of. Is probably the best option. So if you like the Ghost skill, then go for that and add that into your army and gradually build your force up, and then start out playing 500 point games, 750,000 points, gain some battlefield experience, and you'll soon start to see what's missing. So I'm lacking infantry here, or I need a tank, need some anti-tank, and just start dragging units in that you need as you go along. I think that'd be the best way to go about collecting them, and then try and set yourself a target of I'll buy my Start Collecting set, or however you want to start, and then I'm going to paint everything. When I finish, only when I finish painting, then get your next unit. Get yourself into the discipline of buying something, painting it, and it takes a bit more discipline to do it, but you'll find it much more enjoyable that way. It's just, you think it'll be great to just get the models out into a game, impatient, put the models out, and it's just not as rewarding. When you finally painted your models and then you use them in a game, it's so much better. So I recommend you do it that way. And then try to avoid using models that aren't painted, but instead set yourself a target, paint them up, I can use them in a game, and you'll enjoy the whole experience a lot more. So there it is, that's just an introduction to the Tau, just to give you a flavour of what to expect. We've zoomed in, take a look at some of the models. This is the colour scheme I've gone for. You can easily swap the orange out for another colour, change it to like a nice lime green or a blue. You can swap those colours out, but the process, if you want to follow it along in the tutorials, will be the same. You just swap the colours around to something that you want, and I found that to be an effective and pretty quick way of painting up a tower, but it's still looking pretty good. But there it is. Check the comment section below. Other Tau players leave their own feedback and experience they've had, but they're a unique faction to collect for sure, and I've enjoyed them so much the army's expanded out to virtually sort of Apocalypse in scale for them, and they're a great army for Apocalypse games, and some great models available from Forge World as well if you're looking to get some bigger exciting units as well from them. But there it is, that's the Start Collecting video for the Tau. Keep a look out for other factions as well on the channel. For seeing how the Tau play, the best thing is to check out the battle reports, which are available here on this channel and also on the Plus channel as well. Loads of Tau battle reports on the Plus channel also. The link for that is in the description below. There it is, that's the video, the introduction here for the Tau Empire. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time.